Let's talk about the job of a software developer because, well, it's about to change forever. Seriously, by 2026, the skills that got us through the last decade just might not cut it anymore. So today, we're going on a quest. We're going to map out the future, your future, in this crazy, fast-moving world. Ready?
Okay, so let's just get right to the biggest question on everyone's mind. When you picture a programmer, what do you see? Probably someone hunched over a keyboard just hammering out lines of code, right? But in 2026, is that really the job anymore? The answer might actually surprise you. The role has become something so much bigger.
And here it is. This is the big shift. The job isn't just about writing syntax anymore. Nope, it's about orchestrating entire systems. Think about it. You're piecing together architecture, logic, security, all of it. And with AI now acting as this unbelievably powerful coding assistant, the modern developer is more like a conductor, making sure all the different parts work together in perfect harmony.
So, since the destination has changed, you can bet the starting line has moved too. How does anyone even begin their journey in this new world? Well, that single, straight path from the past, it's gone. It's been replaced by a whole network of different options.
You see, on one side, you've got the traditional path, right? The four-year university degree, super linear, very predictable, but that is no longer the only way in. The 2026 path is modular and flexible. Developers now basically build their own education from self-study, from these super intense boot camps, and from online communities, creating a learning journey that is totally unique to them.
And this data? Wow. It tells such a fascinating story. I mean, sure, Stack Overflow is still the king for both students and pros. But look at YouTube. A full 70% of students learning to code are using it. That's actually a higher rate than the professionals. It just goes to show you how much community-driven visual learning now completely dominates tech education.
And if you want a more structured path, boot camps are a massive part of the 2026 ecosystem. But the game has changed here too. You really have to look past all the marketing hype and demand to see third-party audited job results. The best programs are now weaving AI directly into what they teach and are showing some seriously impressive salary outcomes. We're even seeing these new, super specialized tracks popping up for roles like AI engineer.
You know, you simply cannot talk about being a developer in 2026 without talking about AI. It's just not a niche thing anymore. It's a fundamental tool. It's your co-pilot for every single developer on this quest.
This quote right here, it just perfectly captures the new reality. AI is an incredible force multiplier, for sure, but it doesn't replace the need for human expertise. The developer is still the captain. You're the one responsible for quality, for security, for efficiency. You have to be able to look at what your co-pilot suggests and say, yep, that's good, or no way, that's not going to fly.
And this leads us to a brand new, absolutely critical skill, prompt engineering. But listen, this isn't just about casually chatting with an AI. It is a true engineering discipline. It's all about designing instructions that produce reliable, safe, and consistent results that you can actually use in the real world. So how's it actually done? Well, developers in 2026 are relying on a core set of strategies. First, you've got to refine your inputs, be incredibly specific, and give the AI reference text to ground it in reality. Then you shape the process. You break down huge tasks into smaller ones and you guide the AI to think logically step by step. And finally, you manage the output. You hook it up to external tools, and this is the big one, you test everything systematically to actually measure how well it's performing. All right, so once you've mastered this new way of learning and you've forged your partnership with AI, it's time to pick a direction. The quest continues by exploring some wild new frontiers, specializing in areas where the demand for skilled developers is just exploding. So our first frontier is augmented reality. And to get a sense of the scale here, just look at this number. $120 billion. That's the projected market value just by the end of this year. AR isn't a gimmick anymore, it's becoming a necessity in fields like medicine, manufacturing, and retail. It's changing everything about how we interact with digital info in the real world. But building for AR, that takes a really unique set of skills. You have to master stuff like SLAM, that stands for simultaneous localization and mapping, which is basically how digital objects get convincingly stuck in the real world. You also have to be obsessed with performance, keeping those frame rates high and constantly optimizing for the tight constraints of a headset. It's tough, but man, is it rewarding.
Okay, our second frontier is a true paradigm shift, quantum computing. The difference is simple, but whoa, it's profound. While a normal computer uses bits,
a 0 or a 1. Quantum computers use qubits. And thanks to a wild thing called superposition, a qubit can be a 0, a 1, or both at the exact same time. This lets it explore a mind-boggling number of possibilities all at once.
Now, getting into quantum programming, yeah, this is not for the faint of heart. It is a serious journey. The path actually begins not with code, but with math. You have to master linear algebra and scientific Python. From there, you dive headfirst into the physics of quantum mechanics, and only then can you start building circuits and learning those famous algorithms that are going to someday totally revolutionize entire industries. And this brings us to the final stage of our quest. You see, for the experienced developer in 2026, the ultimate goal isn't just to be the best coder in the room. It's to become a true system architect, a technical leader who can see the entire massive picture. Now, to understand why the architect is so valuable, we have to talk about a huge problem in our industry, hero culture. This is that situation where one person becomes the single point of failure, the only one who knows how to fix that critical system when it breaks. It leads to insane pressure, it's totally unsustainable, and it is a major cause of burnout.
The system architect is the antidote to hero culture. Their value is built on 4 pillars that directly fight this problem. Instead of being a single point of failure, they use systems thinking to build resilient teams. They master making tough trade-offs so no one person has to carry that weight. They are masters of communication, making sure everyone is on the same page, and they build systems that are observable from day one so the entire team can see what's happening, not just one hero.
And that brings us to our final thought. For decades, the hardest part of programming was learning how to code. But with AI as our co-pilot, that barrier is getting lower and lower. The new grand challenge, the ultimate quest for the developer of 2026, is deciding what is worth building in the first place. So the question is, what will you build?